I'm currently looking at video camera surveillance footage, and I want you guys to see what happened. We had some really nasty trespassers do some bad stuff to the animals, and at 4:55, my vehicle's here, but I wasn't. I left in a friend's vehicle, and when we went to look at the surveillance footage to see what the cameras caught, because the things that happened right in this pen area, which is a nursery area for baby animals, but I have all the animals in there right now because their pens have been torn down and destroyed, and I just haven't been up to rebuilding everything and redoing everything again. But do you see, we're still looking at, where does this say? The trailer entry, but the video changed. I'm going to go back again to the back of the property. Now, I don't know how the person pulled this off. The cameras were not on Wi-Fi connection, so they had to access the administrative panel to the cameras via the modem and radio waves, which is a total FCC violation. But besides that, the trickery, you're going to see it still says camera entry, but the view is going to change from the actual camera at the camera entry that's named camera entry to the view of the back of the property in broad, as you see, and it still says trailer entry east, facing east, when this footage is from the southwest cameras in the back. So while whatever was being done, there was no accurate video footage. The video footage went from the front, trailer entry east, to excuse me, and it's still trailer entry east, but now the camera is showing the video feed from the camera in the back and not in front of it like it's supposed to be doing. Now, credit where credit is due. That's going to be some serious skills to pull some shit like this off. Again, this is military level training and skills. This is not the average everyday civilian or the average everyday law enforcement to have this knowledge of surveillance systems and hacking into it, using, again, radio waves and not Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi it's not connected to Wi-Fi. That's some skills. Credit where credit is due. The person who is doing it is quite talented, but an asshole nonetheless for disrespecting my property and messing with my cameras. And see, trailer east. The feed is from the trailer east, which is facing where the sun would rise, and it's the entry and exit of my property. And someone got in here in this section and injured some of the animals very badly, and tore up some stuff and just did a lot of damage. And they entered through here, and watch the camera. It says trailer east. The whole view is going to change. They changed our view in our actual camera. The actual camera feed to the camera itself changes. Now, again, I don't know how this was pulled off. But this ain't your average everyday Joe who did this. And this is an absolute violation. There's nothing sanctioned about this type of behavior or actions on any level with any military. Watch, it's going to change. So the camera was registering some activity. That's why you see this blue line right here. But there can be activity and movement outside of the camera's field of view. Someone could be standing just below the camera and triggering the sensors, but the cameras themselves were not picking up the activity. It's still on. Excuse me. This is long, boring. It's not moving. Did I pause it? Okay. And the hacker who was messing with the camera, you notice it went from black and white back into color, and then it disappeared, and it's showing a night shot from the back camera. And it's still saying Trailer East. So, very interesting. Whoever pulled this mess off was skillful in doing something evil. What had happened was two of the goats, the only two we have left, which are little tiny pygmy goats. They're, little itty bitty things. They're full grown, but they're really tiny goats. Was struck across their back with something, which caused spinal cord injuries, so neither goat could walk or even stand up when we returned home. And I showed this to an officer. He saw them that they couldn't stand or walk. And I conversed with a doctor via online about what was going on. And she said it was a spinal cord injury because any symptoms of any sickness or disease that could do it. For one, it would take it longer for it to for them to have symptoms when they've been perfectly fine, nothing was wrong with them just hours prior. That's not the way any sickness that could have caused that would have progressed. It would have been over, a period of time. None of them had fevers, no loss of appetite. They were peeing and pooping just fine and eating and drinking just fine, and their energy levels was normal, but they couldn't stand to their feet. They could not stand, not even if I put them on their feet. They couldn't hold themselves on their feet. And I didn't want to jostle them around too much because I didn't know what was wrong with them. And after the doctor said that it's a high probability of a spinal cord injury, I definitely wasn't going to jostle them around. So she told me to give them aspirin, which I ended up giving them turmeric instead to bring down the swelling and for the pain while the injuries healed. And again, anything that was biological that could have caused those type of symptoms not only would not have worked that fast, but also they would have had other symptoms, but besides that, they would have died within the first 24 hours. And it's been almost a week and a half past. They are able to stand on their feet, but they're doing kind of like a monster walk. They don't have the full control over their legs yet. But these are full-grown adult animals. The female's pregnant, and just the evilness and viciousness of these people who keep messing with my animals and messing with things on my property. I severely want to hurt them bad. There's no ifs or buts about it. It's taking every bit of my discipline and strength to not want to do something really bad to these people. Or let me rephrase that, because I do want to do something really bad to these people. There's no ifs or buts about that. But to have the discipline not to act on those urges. And trying to maintain some level of faith in the judicial system that they're going to catch these people and do something about it, especially since we know where they live and we know who they are, and have for quite some time now. But I'm going to turn this off now and get back to the huge boring task of looking at this surveillance camera video and catching the activity so that I can give copies of this to the local and state and federal law enforcement agencies.